Welcome to a Venus infused Twitchy Tuesdays. On episode 60, we are changing things up around here. That great Chiron eclipse has catapulted a restructure of the content and how I share that content with you. I'll go into detail about the journey that has gone on over this last week with the Twitchy Tip of the week. Make sure to stay tuned for that or use the chapter feature to head there first. One thing that didn't change was the segments inside of these episodes. Today, I will be walking through each of these segments' purpose, starting with cleaning out the broom closet. Then we'll head into the Zodiac Spotlight, which will feature Venus and Taurus and Venus's series of fortunate events. Then we'll move to Chart Chronicles, where we will go down into the depths of this beautiful Scorpio full moon. And then we'll finish off with that twitchy tip of the week. So let's head to cleaning out the broom closet. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. And for those that have been here before, thank you so much for joining me again. Y'all just going to have to hold on for a second while I get everybody else caught up. So cleaning out the broom closet is a segment where we look at all the direct transits when two astrological bodies meet up with each other in either exact conjunctions, trines, squares, or sextiles. We also look at the lunations, those are the new and full moons, and then ingresses when an astrological body switches signs. We also add in stations when an astrological body stations retrograde or stations direct. And that is for the entire week. Now, because we're a little twitchy around here, our weeks go from Tuesday, which is when this episode is released, to the following Monday. And I highlight all of the all of the important things that you want to know right over here. So let's take a look at this week in particular. On 4/16, Mercury retrograde in Aries will square Sirius in Capricorn at 19 degrees 11 minutes. On the same day, Mars in Pisces will sextile Sirius in Capricorn at 19 degrees 13 minutes. Then on 4/17, here we come with Venus's series of fortunate events. Venus will conjunct the North Node in Aries at 15 degrees 35 arc minutes. And then she will follow up that conjunction with a Mercury retrograde on 4/19. Yes, that means 4/18. We have a day. We have a day to soak in energy. And that conjunction with Mercury retrograde in Aries on 4/19 will happen at 17 degrees 33 minutes. It is also the start of Taurus season. Yay, happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. And Mars in Pisces will sextile Jupiter in Taurus at 21 degrees 30 minutes. Mars in Pisces will then also sextile Uranus in Taurus at 21 degrees 46 minutes. It's a heavy day on the 19th, entering into Taurus season, lots of energy to go around. On 4/20, Vesta in Cancer will sextile Juno retrograde in Virgo at 16 degrees 18 minutes. Jupiter will conjunct Uranus in Taurus, 21 degrees 50 minutes. Big, big energy signature, big day, big highlight. That's a day that you want to pay attention to, 4/20. And if you're looking for more information on Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus, you can head to episode 59. On 4/21, Venus in Aries will square Sirius in Capricorn at 19 degrees 53 minutes. Venus will then finalize her series of fortunate events in her conjunction with Chiron in Aries at 20 degrees 9 minutes. The Sun in Taurus will square Pluto in Aquarius, 2 degrees 5 arc minutes. And then Juno will station direct in Virgo at 6 degrees 18 arc minutes. And we finalize out this week with Pallas Athena retrograde in Sagittarius squaring off with a newly direct Juno in Virgo at 6 degrees 18 arc minutes. That is your cleaning out the broom closet. Now we head over to the Zodiac Spotlight. So this segment is designed to highlight upcoming events in future weeks that you should be aware of. We also have ongoing stories or series like the series of fortunate events we're going to be talking about today. And that kind of this story has been going on since episode 55, but now we're here at Venus's turn. So today we're going to talk about the series of fortunate events. We are also going to highlight Venus and Taurus. So let's start out with her series of fortunate events. So I had said, I don't know, a couple episodes ago that this Golden Art Nouveau Tarot deck, boom, right here for everybody's viewing pleasure, it's so beautiful, gold gilded, reminded me totally of Taurus. And I was going to save using this deck until Taurus season. Well, here we are talking about Venus getting into Taurus. So I felt it only appropriate. However, the ever popular right now Aquarian Tarot deck absolutely wants to be present. And I have a feeling it's because of all of the Pluto talks we're going to have today. Um, so we have this one present as well. And if you are watching this on YouTube, you can find those decks in the description box below. Okay, series of fortunate events. I'm going to push this over a little bit. Let's see what we have for Venus. So after our week, we needed last week. If you remember episode 59, last week was that tempered energy. We had one huge transit with Saturn and Mars. However, we were able to breathe. We were able to breathe after this massive eclipse, this massive meetup with Saturn and Mars. And now here we are. This week, we pick it back up again. As you saw in cleaning out the broom closet, there is energy present. Things are moving again. And Venus is kind of the star of the show. Venus in Aries this week is blazing a fire across our skies, getting ready for like kind of her finale. She didn't spend too much time. She isn't spending too much time in Aries. Within the same month, she ingressed into Aries and will ingress into Taurus, which we'll talk about right after this. But here we are in our series of fortunate events featuring Venus meeting up with the North Node, Mercury retrograde, and Chiron. So she gets the pleasure of not only a conversation with the North Node and Chiron, but that mixture of Mercury retrograde, which has been the observer of this whole series. He has been the observer of the series. He's been the observer of this moon, is going to be the observer in the Scorpio full moon, which we'll talk about as well. So the sun is also here. Okay. Let's see. I want a couple more, please. The sun is also here warming up her home sign of Taurus. So here we have this beautiful, warmth coming in from the sun, highlighting, understanding coming in. And on episode 58, we had a really amazing story unfold via the tarot. Around this whole series of fortunate events, what this was really meaning. And again, it didn't come out. Episode 55 is when we started this. So it took 3 episodes for this full story to really develop. And it's all about Mars and his kingdom. And this is the part of that story where Venus is all about how Venus can lend, there's another one, can lend her charms, her feminine eye to the emissaries that are waiting for Mars to come back in his kingdom. Mars is out, just to level set, Mars is out in the ocean. We'll talk about that. Mars is out in the ocean right now trying to get home. And there are emissaries from other kingdoms waiting in his kingdom. And Mercury, Venus, the sun, they are all supporting. There we go. Thank you. They are all supporting. And they want that one too. Okay. They are all supporting this message that is unfolding as Mars is making his way back to his home sign. Mars is going to be the last one in this series of fortunate events to meet up with the North Node and Chiron. So the North Node and Chiron are the emissaries. They are being schmoozed. They're being comforted. They're being talked to. They're being maybe manipulated. Who knows? They're also playing their own game in this. They have a vested interest in whatever they are there to talk to Mars about. So this is where Venus, after, Mercury's been doing his thing, the sun's been doing his thing, gets to place charm, that feminine eye in the situation. So let's see what kind of cards came out. We had all kinds of things happening here. No? Okay. Oh, we're going, all right. We are going upside down on these ones. So you'll notice I've kept, hold on, let me, let me help you all out here instead of being all wonky. All right. I kept two under. I think we're going to get to this as we kind of work through. But what you'll see first, and I know this is in the tiny tarot, however, we'll get you close. So we have in this tiny tarot, this I believe is going to be the Knight of Swords. There's a little knight up in here. So we have the Knight of Swords that came out. We have the Four of Swords. We have an unturned card, which we'll get to. The Ten of Swords, another unturned card. We have the Chariot in reverse and the Tower at the end. Okay. So as we're talking about this story and this continuation of this story, there are, up until this point, this midpoint, there has been an extreme amount of conversation happening, right? Thought processes, understandings, insights coming through. Things might be even lost in translation, ideas being birthed with this Four of Swords, action taken with the words. Um, you know, there might have been a little bit of crow needing to be eaten, right? Laying down your swords on that Ten of Swords right here. So, as we've had Mercury, the sun, Mercury again, and now Venus, this is going to be the Venus section of this story. As we've gone through the activity so far, there's been so many things that have come up to the forefront for observation. Again, hopefully, we have listened more than we've spoken. We have asked more questions than we have stated answers. And we haven't given too much away as Mars is making his way back. We haven't given the emissaries, again, it's all about like down to its basic level, when we talk about stories like this, when we talk about kingdoms and creations of things, all of it comes down to resources. Everything comes down to resources, which is what Venus is really great at, right? She rules things that are tangible. She rules relationships. She rules being able to get and give in equal and harmonious ways. Because that's what here, this section of what we're doing, that's where things, having an emissary come to your kingdom is wonderful. There are strength in relationships. Venus knows this. No matter how long your kingdoms may have been warring with each other, no matter how long you've held out or whatnot, we cannot survive alone. It does not work like that. You can for a period of time, but you can't repopulate on your own. You can't forage enough necessary resources to make a community thrive. You need support. And it is in relationships. This, think back to history. Think back. We have been alive and doing this form of living a lot longer than our current day and age. This is 200 years versus a couple thousand years of understanding and insight from our ancestors, right? So here we have this part of, yeah, these emissaries, we need them for something. They have maybe some resources. We need their trade lines. We need to trade with them. Whatever is coming up here for you, that is where Mercury, the sun, and Mercury again has been already working these emissaries to gain the information, gain the necessary information. Maybe up front with this Knight of Swords, I mean, he's looking really like aggressive. Like maybe up front it was, I don't trust you. I don't trust what is coming through with the North Node and Chiron. It scares me a little bit. What is this intention? What is it really trying to highlight for me? Am I ready? Am I ready for this conversation that the North Node and Chiron are? I, Mercury, I'm not the one. Mars is my king. This is Mars's realm. This is what he's been born and bred for. This is what he consistently works on. I'm just here trying to smooth things out. But because my king isn't here, I now have to step up. I now have to step up. I now have to have Four of Swords, Ten of Swords. I now have to have these tough conversations. I now have to take on a role that maybe I'm not prepared for yet. Or at least I don't think I am. Obviously, you are because it's in front of you. You're having the conversation, right? But there could have been some, there could have been some tension there right at the beginning. What am I getting into? What? I hope I don't let my Mars down. I hope I don't let my king down. And then Four of Swords, surrender, prayed to it, went inside, asked for guidance. Whatever this card is, we're going to flip over here in a second. And again, were mistakes made? Probably. Was there things that you didn't see, didn't realize, didn't accomplish in the way that maybe Mars would have done it? Totally. And that's okay. It's new. Failure is part of the process. Ten of Swords, failure is part of the process. It's okay to fail. It's okay to lay down and go, you know what? I'm shedding all of this. We're going to try again. We didn't get off on the right foot. And this is where Venus comes in so strong. Being able to come in and now harmonize whatever this 10 of Swords was. Do we want to flip over this card? No. They say no. Because this is going to come up here. That's how we're going to do this. There we go. All right, I hear it. Okay. So now here comes Venus. Venus, again, will meet up with the North Node on the 17th, Chiron on the 21st. So we've got these couple of days where Venus gets to throw the charm on. Now, again, with Chiron and the North Node, these emissaries are healing forward, healing towards your or for your highest purpose. The healing that gets you to the next step, the healing that takes this kingdom to its next alliance, this healing that gets the next trade routes to come in, this healing that your soul wanted to ensure that you incorporated in this lifetime. And Venus's target here, how do you feel about it? And how is it in alignment with your values and worth? We have the Chariot reversed and we have the Tower here. So, in the context of this story, knowing Mercury and the Sun have had these really intense conversations, Venus can now take it all the way down. Slow it down. Hold on. There's been a lot over here. There's been a lot of sword energy over here. Let's temper. Let's put the brakes on it. Let's pause for a minute. Let's reassess this situation. Let's talk about how you feel about it, Chiron in the North Node. Let's have a moment to settle and go, all right, how are we actually feeling right now? You can trust me. I'm here to balance. I'm here to harmonize. I'm here to ensure that you're talking with the North Node and Chiron as the emissary, that your needs are also met, that you are heard. Understand that whatever was spoken, whatever, bridges that you feel might have been burned, whatever swords were laid down, it's okay. We are here to rebuild, providing and showing where their value is in the grand scheme of things, having them be able to look at a different perspective around values and worth. The North Node in Chiron came here. Y'all came to Mars's kingdom. There is a purpose there. You all didn't just travel months to get here just to turn around and leave. There's still a story. You need to wait. You will wait for Mars to get here. So how do we sweeten this story up a little bit? How do we talk about what's really occurring? How do we get to that harmonization? How do we get to that relationship building? And then what do we do with the information that Venus collects? Here we go. Because what will happen after Venus meets up? Mercury will station direct very, very close to the North Node. He will station direct on the 25th at 15 degrees 59 arc minutes of Aries. The North Node at that station will be at 14 degrees 45 arc minutes. So this is like they're at a dinner together. They're maybe they're seated close to each other across the table. Maybe there's a person in between them, but they are not in a solo conversation with each other. There's others present at this table. Then Mercury, now direct on 5-6, will conjunct Chiron at 21 degrees 2 arc minutes of Aries, now in the third decan of Aries. And then on 5-19 to 5-29, Mars will come home to his kingdom, meet up with the North Node and Chiron, and finish this story. So let's talk about where this is headed. So we know where we've been. We know what Venus's role is coming up. What happens after that? Mars or Mercury. What happens after this in your stationing direct and you're being conjunct with Chiron? Look at that. Strength comes out. Look at Venus providing Mercury with all that he needs. She just got to turn up that charm. Look, let's see. What has she got? Yes. Hanged man reversed. All she has to do is turn up that charm. See things for what they are. Present things in a new way of looking at them. Showcase what is, what could be. Add a little sweetness. Add a little honey to the story. Mercury, afterwards, though, has to take and embrace what Venus, the gift that Venus has given, the gift of slowing down. Thankfully, we love a good slowdown. The gift of slowing down, the gift of painting a tower moment in a different light, seeing it at a different angle, allowing for that honey to be poured over, allowing for the insights and the understanding to come through. All Mercury needs now is the strength and the courage to continue these two conversations, to know, okay, fucked up. I made some mistakes. Cool. I can live with that. I'm okay failing. I'm going to get up and try again. I'm going to get up and try again because there's now new information here. I observed Venus and I've learned some things. I know what to do now. I've got this. The courage is needed. We still have 2 months to go in this story, in this series of fortunate events. We still have time. We need to have the courage, fortitude, the strength to keep going. The story is going to unfold itself. Mars is going to make it. And we'll wrap up this story and he will take over. Keep going. We are going to put these two, I'm going to take those off right up here. All right. That is our series of fortunate events with Venus. You can find out more about the series of fortunate events and how the Sabian symbols for each of those kind of colors up the events that are occurring. It gives just a different perspective to think about some of these conversations. These are in short video format, meaning 60 seconds or less on YouTube and X. And if you're on YouTube, all will be in the Sabian Explorations playlist. On X, you can head to my highlight section. They are all pinned in the highlight section. All right, let's move on to our next conversation, our next Zodiac Spotlight, which sees Venus in Taurus. This is the beauty and the love that we need. So on 429, Venus will head to her home sign of Taurus, where she will get a homecoming celebration by the sun, Jupiter, and Uranus. Mercury will join her on the 15th of May, and they'll have like a week in the same sign together. Again, this is our Taurus cluster. Lots of Taurus energy in May before she heads out and goes into the lovely sign of Gemini. All right, Venus in Taurus. Give me a second. Let's get this going. All right, I need a drink. Okay. Venus in Taurus. With Venus in Taurus, when she's in her home sign, we are fixed Earth. Venus in Taurus. It's time to get more physical, like embodied. Body in Earth, body on Earth, very grounded into what is happening. Um, it can be a very sensual time because it's not just about our physical body, but it is also about our emotional and sensory body, which Venus rules. So sensory perceptions definitely become more acute. So it's you end up feeling the world more than normal. It can be a very sensual time, a very like sexually sensual time. You can also be in your feels more than normal. So you want to really watch your emotional center. You want to work on not having your emotions just spill out everywhere. Making sure to take care of your aura, being sure to take care of your energy, being sure to kind of like clean up and beautify those areas. With Jupiter, the Sun, and Uranus here, there's this sense of like being very loyal. Loyalty is a big thing with Taurus and Venus. You can Venus and Taurus can also dig their feet in a lot more, like kind of being stubborn, grounded. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to budge from this. There's a tendency to fall towards jealousy and resentment. Again, if that emotional center kind of gets hijacked and out of whack. Just know that the sun is going to be illuminating something here. We have a Taurus cluster, so the sun's going to be illuminating something. Jupiter will make that feeling or that illumination, the feeling about that illumination, way bigger, and Uranus will test you to see if that is actually what you mean. So let's pull some of these cards and see. Oh, please. Ancestors want this one to be really present. Oh, yes. Okay. Look at that. Look at Venus right here. Venus in Libra just showing up something strong. Okay. So let's take a look here and see what was pulled out. We have the Seven of Swords up here. This is the card that fell on the ground. Message here. I know exactly where this message is going to go. So we'll put a pin in that because that is coming up. We have the Ten of Cups. I mean, fucking homecoming. Yay, Venus coming home to Taurus. Excitement, love, beauty, feeling good. Shoot, we have Justice. Oh my gosh. Look, me. Hold, please. This is where I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. I think this is the King of Cups. This is Justice right here. So let's see what we've got for, whoa, are we gonna, there we go. The High Priestess. This, let me make sure this is the King of Cups. Okay, King of Cups, and then Justice. Okay, got it. Wanted to make sure I was accurate in all of that. Okay, so again, celebration. Then we have the High Priestess. This is Venus in her own element. This is Venus in full maiden power, full mother power as well, depending upon. This typically doesn't, I'm not really feeling a lot of crone energy with this. This is very youthful, very Venus in Taurus is a, like, to me, is always that maiden mother, just depending upon Venus's journey, how you've been working with Venus, and where Venus might be natally, where Taurus might be natally for you. So I'm kind of feeling more of the mother vibe, where we have some maturity. Venus has gone through a lot over the last year. Her retrograde in Leo definitely could have been more of her maiden form. Here we now come with the High Priestess, the mother, and that kind of exalted understanding, better perspective, more ability to watch that emotional center. And then we have the King of Cups, again, that matured, being able to take action on what you're feeling in a very emotionally stable way. Ending with Justice. Again, Venus owns, she governs two signs. She not only governs here in the High Priestess, this Taurus energy, but she also governs Libra, and being able to be that fair and just harmonization, the one that comes in and is able to, like, diplomatically resolve the things that are needed to be resolved. And with this meetup with Jupiter and Uranus, there may be a very strong need for that. Jupiter and Uranus, boom, kissed, had this whole moment, which is going to happen. Let me get back up to give you the exact day. It's going to happen on 420. How could I forget that? It's going to happen on 420. And 429, Venus will come in and go, Justice, and go, what the fuck did you just do in this sign? What just happened here? Let me go ahead and put some diplomacy on that. Let me go ahead and put some High Priestess on that. Let me go ahead and nurture my ground a little bit. Y'all scorched my ground a little bit. I'm going to need to put some love on that. So that's what can come in. So again, the sun will be illuminating something. Here's this 10 of Cups, the sun coming in and illuminating this amazing opportunity, amazing new development. This is this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction words, key words, amazing opportunity, amazing development, amazing insight, amazing something. Then we will see Jupiter will make your feelings about that so much larger. Here we have the High Priestess, right? Oh my gosh, look at, I feel I'm internally, this is amazing. What am I going to do with all of this? Then Jupiter, this King of Cups, is going to come in and test you here with Justice. Is that actually what you mean? Does this align with your self-worth and values? Are you physically and emotionally who you say you are? Can your cup hold up to that scrutiny? Can your justice, the scales of balance, be balanced during that inquisition? Venus in Taurus, most of all, is a time for material matters. There is a large focus on material goods. I mean, you have this house in the corner. You've got, clothes on your back. You've got this beautiful crown. You've got this beautiful cup. I've got a beautiful throne. Here's another throne. I've got this amazing sword. I've got these amazing scales. Here are all of these beautiful material things. And it's a focus on what do we have material wise and the possessions that we have accumulated over this time. And here comes in the Seven of Swords. This is a lot. Look at his face. Can you see his face? It's a little jokery, I won't lie. He's got a little like jokery kind of face. But he does have seven swords, material possessions. What is mine? What do I want to be mine? What is yours but should be mine? And this is why this is up top, this Seven of Swords energy bleeding into. You've got the foundational support as all of Jupiter makes things bigger, as all of the things come in. Use your emotional foundation of the Ten of Cups, the High Priestess, the King of Cups, and Justice to really determine and define what seven swords are yours. What are the ones to keep and hold? And where this came in so clutch is because this was already kind of part of what I was thinking through feeling Venus and Taurus, especially during this time of Venus and Taurus. I wanted to talk about the word possession because that is something here is what possessions do we have? So I asked Copilot to tell me the difference between possession, possessing, and being possessed. And here's what Copilot had to say. Possession is a noun that refers to the state of having, owning, or controlling something. It can be used in various contexts, such as legal ownership, funny justice is here, of property or goods, or in a more abstract sense, like possession of a particular skill or quality. Possessing, this is the present participle form of the verb to possess. I hope I said that word right, which means to have or to own something. It indicates the action of having and owning. For example, she is possessing a great deal of patience. Hello, High Priestess. Okay, being possessed, this phrase is typically used in two main concepts. In a supernatural context, being controlled by a spirit or demon, or in a more general sense, it can mean being deeply affected or controlled by a certain emotion. Here's your cups, or quality. For example, he was possessed by a sudden fury. It was an act of fury. So, in talking about possession, which is a very key word here for this Seven of Cups, or Seven of Swords, excuse me, there is a very thin line between possession, possessing, and being possessed. It might be a good exercise during this transit, right before the transit, depending upon how you work with Venus and energies. But it could be a good exercise to determine where these three words come into play in your life. So that can tie to your natal chart. Where in your natal chart do you have Taurus? What house or houses? So let's go through an example of how you could use these terms of various forms of possession in your natal chart and working as Venus gets into Taurus. So example, sixth house. Your sixth house is the house that rules health, daily routines, daily work, and service to others. So do you possess the ability to take control of your health? Are you hijacked by that? You know, the Seven of Swords isn't a very strong card. It needs a lot of strong will placed behind it to emphasize what the desired aspects of the Seven of Swords is. We need a lot of this strength right here. Here's strength, just looking down on this. There's a reason why this isn't over here with the Hanged Man reverse. No, no, no. Strength. Strength here. Strength in our conversations. Strength in our ability to take control. Courage in our ability to do so. Are you being possessed in taking control of your health? Are you being hijacked? Is this 10 of cups too much? You are in excess. You have this king of cups. Your cup is overflowing and not in the way that you want it to be. Your scales are off. The balance of being healthy and being excessively so, or being unhealthy or excessively so, is out of whack. Are you in possession of what you need to take control of your health? That's where the insight, this high priestess, can come in. This looking at these 7 of Swords and going, yeah, those 5 swords are what you're going to need. But guess what? Those 2 that you left behind, you may want to go back and get them. You're going to need them too. Or maybe you don't. So this is how you can use these concepts of different forms of possession to come over. So that example was just in health, but the 6th house also rules daily routines. Apply the same concepts, apply the same questions, just sub out health with daily routines. And you can do that throughout all of the houses because each house focuses on a specific area of your life. So Venus's story in Taurus can bring up a lot around this, especially because we have the sun, we have Jupiter, we have Uranus testing some of these things, blowing these things up, illuminating some of these, but also we have Venus just getting off of her meetup with the North Node in Chiron. And how are you feeling about it? What was this new thing that came into your awareness? What are you doing with all of those? How are you applying this strength? What insights did you gain? She's going to bring that energy into Taurus, that insight, and be able to then ground it into our physical reality. All right. Let me get these out of here. We are done with the Art Nouveau. So pleased that these cards were here to join us. We'll use these much more as we get into Taurus season because they are beautiful. I think I might have to get the instead of the mini deck, I might have to invest in the large size because these are wonderful cards. We're going to come back to now our Aquarian Tarot because we are headed to the chart Chronicles for our Scorpio full moon. So chart Chronicles is where we pull up this way, a transit chart, as you can see right here. And we do this for the new moons, the full moon, and or any transits that warrant a closer visual look. So this segment is still in development. We started kind of pulling up these charts and me figuring out how to like actually get charts to show on the system that I'm using. And I'm always looking for ways to enhance this section in the future. So if you have any ideas on how to do that, please leave me a comment and let me know because I'm down for it. I am super excited to be able to kind of enhance this section. I like looking at charts. I like, coloring them up and doing that with everybody. And this is honestly great practice if you are into astrology in looking at charts and being able to then also place that in your own natal chart and come up with those differences. So I did make an enhancement already, found out that I can use, what is this called? Paint 3D, free program. Thank you, Microsoft. We appreciate you. But I can use Paint 3D on here and have a totally not look like a child's drawing essentially. So we're going to try this out today, see how this works. So this is the chart for the Scorpio full moon. It is occurring on April 23rd of 2024 at 6:48 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is going to occur at 4 degrees, 17 or 18 arc minutes of Scorpio, depending upon where you are on this chart, you'll see it at 17 degrees. It will square Pluto, which I will highlight here in a second. It will also sextile Juno, who is freshly direct in Virgo. So, first things first with this chart. Wow, was my initial, like when I pulled this chart up and saw it for the first time, I was like, whoa, this is an active chart. So active that it took me like a hot minute before I could even figure out where the moon was in this chart and the sun. I was like, wait, where am I looking? Hold on, there's so much to absorb here. My eyeballs are like struggling coming and rectifying this chart. And it came up to me as I was feeling into this energy and looking into this chart that the sun and the moon were lost in this chart, which became the whole point of this moon. So for me, I am calling this moon and dubbing this moon the lost moon. So I've got some questions that I have felt into and wanted to share as this moon comes into fruition and we get into this moon. And then we'll talk about the rulers of this moon as well, and get some obvious guidance as soon as that's ready. But I want to show you where on this chart you need to be looking. So here we have the moon down here at 4 degrees, 17 arc minutes of Scorpio, and it is directly opposing. Isn't that so pretty? I got to figure out how to do other colors, but right now, look, I'm happy. It is directly opposing the sun over here in the sign of Taurus at 4 degrees, 17 arc minutes. So these are the two sections, house or houses, that you want to be looking at in your natal chart. So if you are, looking at your own natal chart and you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. All wheels are designed differently. However, in this wheel, you can see here the moon is in the first house. This is what delineates the houses, are these numbers right here. The sun is up in the seventh house. Now that is for this chart. Your chart will be different. Everybody's chart will be a little bit different. So that is where the sun and the moon is. The other thing that we talked about was this square to Pluto. So whenever we talk from the perspective of a full moon or a new moon, and we say the full moon is squaring Pluto, we are literally meaning that the moon is in a square with Pluto. So that can be found. Oh, hold on. No, shapes. Here we go. Line, boom, right here. So here is where our lovely friend Pluto is residing. We're going to put that there. Let's move this so you can see it. So Pluto is residing at 2 degrees, 5 arc minutes of Aquarius, again, within that 2-degree orb of the moon. So this is a square to Pluto. There is also a sextile to Juno. So that can be found right here in this sextile. So let me get here. Here is our lovely, gorgeous goddess asteroid Juno. Again, freshly direct in Virgo. Again, 2 degrees now higher. So the moon's at 4. We have Pluto at 2. We have Juno at 6. So it's this lovely sandwich of conversations that we have going on. And there's a lot more going on in this chart, obviously, but those are the active key components as it pertains to the Scorpio full moon. So the lost moon. Let's talk about that before we highlight the rulers of the moon and what they're doing within the context of this chart. So, first up, we'll get some cards for each of these. First question: where have you lost your way since the Taurus and Scorpio nodal transit? So when the nodes, these are our nodes right here. You can see them in Aries and in Libra. When they were in Scorpio and Taurus, which was January 19th of 2022 to July 17th of 2023, where have you lost your way since that nodal transit? Because now we're coming back here. We're coming back and having a full moon in Scorpio. What's that journey been like? Where have you lost your way? Let's see if I can get it. Thank you. All right. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. One more. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So, Knight of Cups. Where have you lost your way since the Taurus Scorpio nodal transit, January 19th, 2022 to July 17th, 2023? So, from that point, what has occurred? What has changed? And this Knight of Cups here is having again, we're facing this way. It's having the astuteness. Think about the energy of a knight, of a warrior. Think about the archetype of the warrior. And having the astuteness, the clarity, the ability to own, the ability to have the emotional fortitude to ask yourself that question and listen to the internal workings of what types of answers you get. This is a Scorpio full moon. We are in fixed water. It is what it is. I love that the Knight of Swords is balancing this energy because it is what it is. You cannot change what has happened from January 19th, 2022 to this moon. That is the past. What you can do is find, and this is what the moon is truly about, surrender, acceptance, and compassion. So what has been lost? Be that start clear. Dig that up from the depths with Scorpio. Dig that up. What have you lost since that nodal transit? Where are areas where that has shown itself, that stillness of the water? Maybe you need to use water to intuit that information. You can take a bath, you can scry, you can do those things during this full moon to gain that insight and energy into it. Go down into those depths. Next question. What lost things are being illuminated for you at this time? Take that in a million different ways as you want to take it. Look at how big this Ace of Pentacles is. There is a spotlight on something, and here's our sun also spotlighting something that's hidden in these depths. We are in the first decan of Scorpio. Maybe it's something that's not as mature as you want it to be. You lost like a little piece of yourself that you want to gain back. You lost some money. That could have been something happening. We are in this axis of Taurus and Scorpio. You lost money in 2022 to 23. Maybe you made some bad investments. And now you have a way to gain that back. You learned a lesson through that. You lost your way because it was a big blow. It was a tower moment for you. But now you're ready to pick yourself back up. You're ready to embrace this large ass pentacle coming in. You're ready to use the energies to, you know what? I don't want to be a victim anymore. It was what it fucking was. Fixed water. It was what it was. Can't change it. That was a bad investment. I'm not going to do that again. How have 10 of cups, how have you gotten lost in the most profound and beautiful ways? Being lost, all who wonder are not lost. Being lost, the word lost, is not just about, again, words have no, like, I keep going back to this. I've said this like a bunch of times over these past couple of weeks. Words have no tenor to them. Words are simply what they are. It is us who puts energy and positivity, negativity, high vibration, low vibration, however you want to look at it, more desirable, less desirable, whatever. We're the ones that assign that to those particular words. Words just are what they are. They mean things. We want to mean what we say, but lost doesn't mean destruction. Lost can be I took a left when I was supposed to take a right. And guess where that left took me? To my 10 of cups, to the rainbow, to the cup at the end of the rainbow. Best things happen when you're lost. Best things happen when you don't have all of the plans laid out. I know that that's a struggle for fixed. I get that. I get that that is not a strong Taurus suit. That is not very comfortable, but go get lost in the muck. Go get lost in Scorpio's swampy waters. See what comes up. See what amazing things come out of that. Go get lost in the most profound and beautiful ways and look at all of the fulfillment that comes from that. It's okay to be a little lost as you're making it. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do. I'm just moving. I'm just living life right now. I don't know if what the decisions I'm making are the best or if they're going to turn out not good. I don't know. But I'm doing it. I'm doing the damn thing. That's all I can do. And this might have been the lessons and learning that when the North and South Node were in the Taurus Scorpio axis, that you were really being challenged with to move forward, getting out of the like so fixed that you don't want to make a decision, but pushing forward and pushing through that with courage to make decisions because you need to begin working on that next stage of life, etc. Last one, King of Swords. What losses have occurred that need this moon's capacity for surrender, acceptance, and compassion to come through? What losses have occurred that you can look to? How have you lost your way? What lost things are being illuminated? How are you getting lost and finding the joy within that? What grief is there? What needs that solace? What needs that surrender? The truth of the matter to come through, the acceptance of that truth, the compassion for yourself, for what is being shown, what you're going through, what you are shedding, what you are leaving behind. It's a lost moon. Go dig up all of that loss. Surrender, acceptance, compassion. The moon will help with all of that. So let's look at the rulers of the moon and see kind of what they're doing. So we already talked about, let's see, where do I, oh, maybe we can undo. Okay, we're going to undo. We're going to undo. There we go. We're going to start fresh and new because we need a POW right here. Bam. This is one of our rulers of this moon. All right, well, we're going to undo that and try that again. That didn't work out as neatly as I want. This is where look, I've got, oh my gosh. This is my Mercury and Venus in Virgo moment right here. Y'all are witnessing it live. All right, Patow, we got Pluto. Pluto is one of our rulers. He is the modern ruler of Scorpio. We'll also talk about the traditional ruler, Mars, here in just a second. But here, Pluto is highlighted. Again, it is a square to this moon that is right here. That is where you can see that. Pluto is about ready, slowing down, about ready to head retrograde and retrograde back for his final time in Capricorn. He is about ready to head this way. For this moon, though, Pluto is strong. He is getting his energy back. Hold on, they want me to start pulling. So let me put these, see if I can get these up here. Because Pluto needs its own little Aquarian tarot deck support. So Pluto is kind of like, hey, y'all, I've been a little quiet. You ready for me? Y'all had your moment in the sun. I've been way out in my transit, just chilling, waiting to come through and pow, Scorpio new moon. Bitches, I'm back. Hi, let's talk. So, fixed signs. Look at that, the sun. as we talk about fixed signs, the sun pops out, the King of Cups pops out. Fixed signs, like just deep breaths. We know, fellow, I am a fixed sun. I know, got fixed energy a bunch. Fixed is a whole thing. We are going to get a breather. We are right now being highlighted. We'll have a couple of months of a breather when Pluto gets back into Capricorn. And then in November, we got 20 years of fixed pings with Pluto. So if you have fixed signs, if you are a fixed prominent, you have a lot of fixed placements, meaning you've got other planets, points, luminaries in your fixed signs. Those are the signs of Aquarius. It is the sign of Scorpio. That's why there is a square here. It is also the sign of Taurus, as well as the sign of Leo. So that's where you're going to want to look in your natal chart. There is a lot of highlights that are going to be coming up and a lot of ability for transformation with Pluto getting back and stationing into Aquarius. So we've got a little Pluto dance that starts at this moon. Pluto's going to be doing some dancing. So first off, at this moon, we've got this square straight to Scorpio. Okay. Then as the moon moves, boop, 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 and gets into this sign right here of Sagittarius, as the moon moves into that sign, it will then sextile. You see this little sextile right here, will sextile Pluto. Then as Venus, right here, here's our lovely Venus. Let me do it this way. As Venus moves into her home sign of Taurus, that will be a square to Pluto. Then when Mars, which we haven't even talked about Mars yet, but Mars is right here, heads into the sign of Aries, will sextile Pluto. And then when the moon gets all the way up into the sign of Aquarius with Pluto, so it's going to keep going along, will conjunct Pluto. Pluto's got to dance. There's a lot of pinging happening with Pluto. All of a sudden, the sun is shining on Pluto. All of a sudden, the King of Cups comes out and is like, hey, how you going to feel about this? How you going to handle this? Let me sprinkle on some of this energy here. How is this Knight of Cups going to help you? How is this Ace of Pentacles going to help you? How is this Ten of Cups going to help you? How is this Knight of Swords going to help you? How is this understanding what gets broken free within this lost moon, this surrender, acceptance, and compassion? How is all of that going to help you transform in this Pluto in Aquarius journey? What things are being illuminated? The sun has a part to play on this. You know what that means to me? What is coming in right now with the sun and this being that full moon? Identity, self identity. How is your self coming through? Do you want to be the King of Cups? Is that the energy that you're looking for? And what kind of King of Cups is that? Is it one that can hold its cup steady, can be the emotionally stable one for their kingdom? Or is it one that shakes every time it holds the cup and spills the water over, or a cup that's overflowing, isn't willing to share? We are fixed, we are Pluto. How is your King of Cups transforming? How are you becoming the sovereign? How are you becoming, again, we've got the king, warrior, magician, lover, the archetypes. How are you becoming the sovereign, the blessed one, the one that, not the blessed one, the one that blesses others, the one that blesses others? So then let's keep on with this story and let's talk about Mars. So let me undo all of these. So Mars is going to be, Mars needs a little love. Look, Mars needs a little love right now based on what he's doing. So here's our friend Mars in Pisces. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, and Mars is between Saturn right here at 15 degrees, 59 arc minutes, Neptune, 28 degrees, 42 arc minutes of Pisces, and here is Mars at 24 degrees, 51 arc minutes. So Mars is a little lost. Shocking, here we are on a lost moon. Mars, one of the rulers, is also a little lost. He's a little lost in Neptune's waters right now. He no longer has, he's not close enough to have that structure, whatever structure Saturn is providing in Pisces. If he was able to provide any, oh, moon upside down, moon reversed. He's kind of too far away from that now. So he's just like floating out there. Like this, I'm getting the image of, I didn't even see this movie, but the Tom Hanks movie with Wilson, the little like lost, fucking lost, gone out in the water, floating the fuck around, praying he's going in the right direction. Because Mars has to get home. Like that's the thing. Mars has got to get home. Like he wants to be home, something serious. Two of Cups, Queen of Swords. Like missing my wife. I want to be home. What the fuck? Why am I floating out in this river of nothing? Holy cow, this ocean is deep, dark, mysterious. I do not want to be eaten up by some sharks. Like, I don't know the rules here. I don't know what Neptune has in store. I don't know what kind of things I'm going to have to be. I don't know. I want to go home. I want to be here. I want to be the king to my queen. Here is this Queen of Swords. So, Mars and Neptune, these two here, will have their conjunction a few days after this moon. So they are going to have that conjunction on 4/28. And oddly enough, which we love, on the day of their conjunction, the moon, as it's moving through, will actually sextile that conjunction. So, what that means to me is something, again, something highlighted here. And as Mars moves, the energy of this moon is going to be lasting several days, meaning 7. If you're a Survivor fan, you know what I'm talking about. So, there's this ability to take this energy, to take this moon reverse, take the energy and get lost. Now, it's interesting that the moon is here in reverse because when I was feeling into this, I'm actually going to change my notes because let me tell you what my notes said and how now with the cards here, this is why I love mixing these divination techniques because it enhances messages. So, I had put down getting lost inside in the internal mysteries of self, getting lost inside the emotional waters. With this here, I am reversing that. There's way too much energy here that's being profound. I think Mars is already lost inside, right? If Mars is already floating out in Neptune's ocean, like, what the fuck am I doing? I need a friend. I need my Wilson. I need somebody here. This is now this meetup, this moon, and then the forward motion where Mars and Neptune then officially get to meet is more about taking what has been going on internally and allowing it to come out to the forefront with a trusted individual. Speaking in, what has been getting you lost inside. This is the lost moon. All of those questions, talk about it with somebody, journal about it if you need to. Have the therapists. We love therapists. Getting the things that are washing in your emotional currents on the inside, allowing them to come out and be seen and be spoken. Again, you don't see the 3 of Cups here. You don't see the 7 of Cups. You don't see the 10 of Cups here. It's up here. Granted, it's up there. But this conversation is a private one meant for private individuals, whatever that looks like for you. Finding somebody that you can be on a common page with, that you have emotional security with, to be able to speak your truth and have them be able to be that pillar of surrender, acceptance, and compassion for you in speaking your truth. The Queen of Swords, the truth shall set you free. If you are having a challenging time as Mars is waiting in these emotional waters, if this illumination of lost is absolutely something that is challenging for you, that it is not easy, you have to say something about it in order for others to help you. People don't know what you're going through unless you tell them. It's okay to have this speech. It's okay to know, you know what? I have taken this as far as I can go. I've taken this Sun and this King of Cups. I've taken this challenge. I've done all of my work. I've done all of my things that I can with it. Now it's time for me to ask for help. And here we are. The other piece, and I love that this Queen of Swords is here and this energy is present, because the last piece that we haven't talked about is Juno. So I'm also going to put a little heart over Juno because she is the goddess asteroid associated with commitment, partnership, and harmony. So this is where, again, this is that like higher octave of Venus in Taurus. And since going direct, especially because she's in the sign of Virgo, since going direct in Virgo, there is this clarity that can be gotten and forward motion that can be accessed in our closest relationships. Two of Cups. In our closest relationships. After a time where she was retrograde, where she was able to reflect and reevaluate, she's now poised to help us renew our commitments with deeper understanding and sincerity. Sincerity, Queen of Swords, wonderful key word. So, with Juno being a support, because a sextile to the moon is supportive, with Juno being a support in a lost moon, what we're considering this lost moon, again, there's an ability here for Juno to support the healing around relationships, illuminate where that healing is needed, be that emotional center and space to do that, acceptance of what changes are needed, Queen of Swords being clear, but having that ability to have that acceptance, having compassion for what was. Here's, what is, right? That was this whole lineup right here. It is what it is. Fixed water, fixed earth. It is what it is. These cards are not changing. You're not magically going to stare at these cards and they're going to morph into something else. It is what it is. Radical acceptance and having the compassion that this is what it is. Having the love, the energy, the support, the passion behind what is. And then surrendering to whatever steps forward are needed. What is Juno saying? I say it all the time that the goddess asteroids work more quietly. And with this moon and the fact that we have the sun here, we've got all of this illumination, it is in a sextile. This moon could illuminate what lessons were learned during her retrograde. Maybe it was too quiet. You didn't really know what she was doing up in the 5D as she was retrograding, but now she's direct, this moon's here, and now you do. We could learn what She wanted to teach us about balance, about fairness, about the true essence of partnerships, and support how you can actively nurture. Active, Queen of Swords is an active sign. How you can actively nurture here with these cups, these relationships that are important to you moving forward. Okay. That is the message. That moon message is done. So let's get back here now. This is the point within the episode. Let me get this over here. Let's get these cards moving. So this is the point in the episode where I typically tell you about all the things I do here. We're going to scratch that going forward. And instead, I'm just going to ask that if you are finding this episode valuable, please hit the thumbs up or heart, subscribe and follow, and explore our other content. And now here we are at the end with our Twitchy tip of the week. So, congratulations if you have made it this far, and good on you if you skipped all the way here and made it here first. I end each episode with a Twitchy tip of the week. This tip is random and completely comes to me in intuitive means, typically after I've been, channeling the energy, figuring out what we wanted to talk about. But today, I am going to take you through the journey of what's been happening in my world and how these energies have been working with me. Um, and just kind of see, because it's all going to tie into this Twitchy tip of the week. So let me take you back to January and February, because as we know, energies just layer on top of each other. It's never normally just a boom, done. It's energies last. Think about a tuning fork. You don't hit it and you only hear the one sound. The sound reverberates out and out. So January and February, I had this innate, intense desire to get off of Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok totally. I didn't want to deal with it. Fuck it all. Like that was literally, I was so, um, like I had such an impulse to just fuck it. I don't care. I'm deleting everything. But based on the guidance that I received, I tempered that impulse. Again, going back to doing the work that we talk about on here, that was around the time where we had been talking about delayed gratification a lot and working in delayed gratification. So I paused and I tempered the impulse to just fuck it all. I'm just going to move. Then in March, I ended up deleting Instagram and TikTok just from my phone. So I now didn't have on access because I was finding like a digital detox, right? Like I was using it. I was like using it right before I went to sleep and I wanted to clean up some of those habits. So best way to clean up habits, get what is there out of the way. Don't put it in front of you. You won't, just kind of like when you're changing your diet. If you don't put potato chips in the pantry, you won't eat the potato chips. Okay. So March, deleted Instagram and TikTok from my phone, and I was just using Instagram and TikTok on my desktop computer. April, here we have the great Chiron eclipse. Whoa, all things were adjusted. First of all, if you guys follow me on the socials and you heard my other videos, we were supposed to travel to be in the path of totality. We did not do that, and it was the best decision. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that we didn't try to force things, that we listened to what was kind of being presented. Yes, we had a sick puppy. So that wasn't always great. He had to be the catalyst for us. However, it was right on time and brilliant. Loved it. Glad we were here because it opened up this opportunity for me during that time frame to adjust everything. So I purged down, took like I spring cleaned habitual sages, spring cleaned my house, spring cleaned my life, and just purged down to what really we are focused on, I'm focused on, my husband's focused on, we as a family are focusing on for 2024, which our 2024 goal is empire building. So I removed all of my accounts on Facebook and X that were outside of Habitual Sages, deleted IG completely. You will not find me on IG anymore. I am leaving that platform. And I only kept TikTok on my desktop. So I'll still be uploading some videos to there. Um, Guidance was to keep TikTok open. Okay, see what that looks like. So now what does this empire look like now that all of this has occurred? So we have Habitual Sages. That is my business. That is the foundation, the rock, the underlying everything. That consists of a website, my X account, where you may be watching this at, a TikTok account, and all of my courses via the platform Thinkific. So now on Discord, X, website, Thinkific, TikTok, you can find me at Habitual Sages. Twitchy Tuesdays. Love my Twitchy Tuesdays. Twitchy Tuesdays is now a YouTube channel where you may be watching this at, but will now be all of these episodes of Twitchy Tuesdays are now going to be released in video format versus live formats going forward. Each episode will be available 5:30 p.m. Central on Tuesdays. However, I am going to be changing my live format structure and created, as you see below right here, a new channel called Twitchy Tuesdays Live, where I will only be streaming live too. So, because I still want to go live, that is something that I love to do. I took the recommendation from my husband because he's a genius and started this live channel called Twitchy Tuesdays Live. It is a new channel on YouTube created from the scratch. So I'll be going live randomly weekly. That is the goal right now. It will be multi-streamed to Twitch as well. And obviously, it's a new channel, so it needs a little love. So if you're following on Twitchy Tuesdays, I would appreciate it and love it so much if you were to follow over on Twitchy Tuesdays Live. So that way you can get the live that you want. I'm going to be trying to stream vertically. That's going to be a new experience. We're going to have new segments and we're going to change up the vibe there. So we're going to talk a lot more versus and use the tarot versus simply focusing on the astrology. And then one last thing that we have is my new X channel called Why Not Prez 52, Prez with a Z, where I will be writing about my 52 reasons why I won't be president starting in June, leading up to the US presidential election in November. Very different vibe from everything here, but super fun. And it is something that has literally been waiting to be birthed inside of me for a very, very long time. So I'm very excited that this is the year to do that. Where the twitchy tip of the week is coming in from is I did these moves in silence. I didn't ask anyone. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want anybody else's opinion about it. Some of it I didn't even tell my husband until after it was already done. So, um, that's one of the twitchy tips is like, where in the life do you need to make moves, make changes that you don't need others' permission, insight, or guidance to do so? Feel empowered, embodied to make those on your own for your own behalf and what you're putting out here into the world. The other thing is I not only did this purge with Habitual Sages, but I did it with my clothes, my closet, my skin, my skincare and my makeup. And that actually between my clothes, my skincare and my makeup, that actually has also been a cultivated process from January that started in January and February as well. So I spent instead of oh my gosh, I'm just going to spend all this money on this skincare line, hope it works out. I tempered. So I'm very proud of myself. I tempered, delayed gratification. I tempered my impulses and I did my research. I researched different skincare companies. I researched what I actually wanted out of them. Started with what I wanted. What was I hoping to accomplish? Same thing with my clothes. What was I hoping to gain out of getting these things? Asking myself some of these tough questions to make sure I was doing it in alignment with truly where I'm headed, not just to do it for doing its sake. And over the last couple of weeks, or excuse me, over this last week, especially with this great Chiron eclipse, I felt the need to just purge and clean. So I honored that. That's what I spent a whole day doing, cleaning out my closet. You can see I kind of changed the background here. I cleaned up the office space. So that is another twitchy tip of the week that I have. Honor what is coming up for you and follow the path. I didn't know why I was cleaning I don't know. Like I just why do I want my bookshelf? I don't know. This is what's coming forward. I'm just moving my office. I'm just facilitating. I am the facilitator of the energy. Be willing to be curious about where you can take you if you're willing to listen. That is the other twitchy tip of the week. So, my husband said we're right on time. This is all part of the spring season. This is a very natural way of things. That's why we have spring cleaning. Um, so again, just honor what is coming up for you. All right. That's it. We are done. Episode 60. Thank you for taking this journey with me. May your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my twitchy friends. And until next time, blessed be, stay twitchy. See y'all later.
Cosmic dance where stars align, Milani guides us through signs divine, astrology secrets in the night sky, revealed in her sessions where mysteries lie. Twitchy Tuesdays, where the curious go. Tarot cards spread futures foretold in Milani's realm. Watch the magic unfold. A sage in the digital